Hey, fancy listeners. Francesca Hampton here, and I am honored that you took time to tune in once again. And I'm committed to sharing content that will make you glad you did. So, welcome to the Fancy Thoughts Podcast, a weekly podcast designed to give you perspective, insight, and encouragement to release the greatness inside of you. I want you to live fancy life, where you are fostering achievement, never compromising you, because someone is waiting for you. Well, before we get into this week's podcast, let's review what we talked about last week. We talked about self-promotion, not being afraid to tell others what you're interested in, passionate about, or involved in, reminding ourselves that we are our greatest advocate and our biggest cheerleader. We also talked about information absorption versus implementation. Make sure for every bit of information that you are absorbing, there is corresponding action that you are implementing with that information. Now let's get into this week's fancy thoughts. Our first fancy thought is around self-talk. And when we think of what self-talk really means, it really aligns with many other topics we've been discussing over the past few weeks. According to healthline.com, self-talk is your internal dialogue. It's influenced by your subconscious mind, and it reveals your thoughts, beliefs, questions, and ideas. Self-talk can be both positive or negative. It can be encouraging or it can be distressing. So in reality, self-talk is what you say about yourself to yourself. And again, when we look back at a few of the topics we've discussed over the past few weeks with self-sabotage, self-confidence, self-awareness, and self-promotion, it is extremely important that our self-talk aligns with the great things that we want to accomplish and we want to see in ourselves. So the question you have to ask yourself, or what you need to look at, is what are you saying about yourself? When you open your eyes in the morning and you begin to speak about your day and about what you're going to accomplish, what are the type of things that you're saying about yourself? Are you declaring that you have everything that you need to accomplish what you're going to accomplish today? Or are you starting your day with, I don't know how I'm going to get through this. There are so many things on my plate and I'm just overwhelmed. Even as you go throughout your day, what are the things that you're saying about yourself? If you make a mistake, are you quick to criticize yourself and speak extreme negativity over not just what you've done, but who you are? Or do you consistently encourage and motivate yourself that although you may have made a mistake, you are well able to fix that mistake and do better going forward? All of this aligns with what self-talk is. And again, in order to release greatness that's on the inside of you, in order to have the influence and the impact that we want to have, we first have to make sure that we believe in ourselves and we speak the truth about ourselves. As a believer, we have to make sure that the words that we say align with what God says about us. Whatever your beliefs may be, you have to make sure that your affirmation or your confession about yourself is aligned with who you truly are. Not the mistakes that you've made, not your failures, not your areas of weakness, but the great person that you are, who is consistently perfecting and improving and moving forward. Make sure that what you say about yourself is positive, encouraging, and truthful. Our next fancy thought is around always showing excellence. I heard Dharius Daniels say the following, and I really believe it to be true. Every task is an opportunity to show your excellence. What does that mean? Everything that you do, everything that you are involved in, everything that you set your hands to do is an opportunity to show your excellence. And I truly believe this requires a reframing of our mindset or a different perspective, because many times we can look at tasks, especially those that are that seem simple or that are repeating. We can look at them as simply something that needs to get done, something we need to just power through and can't wait till it's over. But if you understand that every task is an opportunity to show your excellence, that means that you show up differently. And when we're talking about excellence, we're talking about excelling, which simply means to be outstandingly good or proficient. And proficient just means you do something well. So what are we saying? Every task is an opportunity to show that you do things well, whatever that may be. From the simple things of cleaning up a room or scrubbing a toilet, all the way into running a meeting or being a leader over a team, it doesn't matter the scale of what you're doing. What matters is how you show up in what you're doing. And we want to show up in excellence. As we're talking about releasing greatness and being authentically ourselves, when we're talking about promoting ourselves, when we're talking about being confident in what we do, the way that these are seen, the way that these are expressed is when we show up in excellence in every single thing that we do. Because you are creating your brand. You are creating the impression that others have of you when you set out to do certain tasks. And although that task may seem small to you, it may be major to someone else. And how you approach it and how you complete it will matter to them. So we want to always make sure that we are showing up with excellence, doing our very best, putting our effort and everything into all the things that we do. Not only for others, but also for ourselves. When we demean or deprioritize our own tasks, it's as if we're saying to ourselves the things that we need to do are less important. It's like saying, I will put much effort into something I do for somebody else. But when it comes to my own tasks, I'll just do just enough to get by. Just as much as we were talking about self-promotion last week, when you're promoting yourself to others, you have to promote yourself to yourself. You have to believe that the things that you're doing are important to you accomplishing your goals, for you being everything that you set out to be and to accomplish everything that you're passionate about. We have to always show up in excellence because what we do is what other people see. And just like that, we've wrapped up another week of Fancy Thoughts. So as a reminder, remember how you talk about yourself. Make sure that the words that you say about yourself are encouraging, enlightening, empowering, and positive. And always show up in excellence. Whatever you set forth to do, do it with everything that you have because someone is watching you and someone is waiting for you. Thank you for joining us for the Fancy Thoughts podcast. I'm Francesca Hampton, and I look forward to you tuning in again next week. And remember, you are well able, fully capable, and properly equipped to accomplish everything you were created for. So go and make this week a great one.